Greetings! Okay, are we ready to talk about them brownies? So, I have my recipe screenshotted on my phone. I have things like this Nativas Organics cacao powder. This one was pretty expensive. I will see if I can't tell you how much. I was able to get the superfine natural almond flour locally. This little bitty 16-ounce 1-pound bag cost me $13, $12.69. And the one with the blanched almonds was even more, but I don't see the point of needing it to be blanched if it's paler white, more flowery looking. But other than that, I don't think there's a big difference. I've got unrefined coconut sugar. This was also quite expensive. We're talking like $6.89, $7 for this little thing of sugar. I have Nutiva coconut oil organic superfood. This one's virgin, blah, blah, blah. This was $14. Yeah. Damn. Cost a lot to eat healthy, dang. I also have some cacao nibs. I did pop this open and nibble a few at one point just to try because I'd never tried raw chocolate before, which is basically what this is. So essentially, they take the cacao beans and crush it into small pieces. And that's it. Before it turns into powdered chocolate, chemicalized, blah, blah. This is it. This is chocolate before it's been added to and sweetened and processed. And then I have some Mexican vanilla. This is just the same bottle I've had for a while. It's pretty clean. I think they say don't worry too much about the alcohol and things. That burns off in the cooking. But as far as the Paleo is concerned, the cleaner the better. This one's about as clean as it's going to get, I think, at my budget anyway, and what I can find locally. You should see me trying to find bars of chocolate that are clean. Hang on. This is a Theo. This is a 70%, so if you're gonna eat chocolate, they want it to be paleo. It needs to be 70% or above and as clean as possible. This particular one is very clean. It also happens to be coconut, which is not my preference, but it's still better than no chocolate at all. I don't really care for the texture of coconut, and definitely, you know how it is, and you're like, you can tell it's there. I debated about whether to chop up some chunks of this to have in there since I wasn't able to get any chocolate chips, and that's one of the main reasons I haven't done the cookie recipe yet, is because there's only one chocolate chip I've been able to find, and it's so expensive to ship it here. The price of it isn't too horrible, and then it's like $5 just to ship a $5 bag of chocolate chips, which is not fun. This one though, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But 70 or above, it's just I don't really care for the coconut overly. So let's start looking at the recipe, shall we? Pause for a minute. Okay, so for these Paleo brownies, I am going to need a half a cup of coconut oil melted. I am going to need 1 1/4 cup of the coconut sugar, or sugar-free granulated sweetener of some kind. I don't want anything that's not real as much as possible. So that's coconut sugar. I am going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which is getting low, but I got that. I am going to need 3 eggs. I am going to need 1 cup of almond flour. I am going to need half a cup of the cocoa powder, half a teaspoon of sea salt, And then optional, I can put instant coffee in it. I won't be doing that. Optional, chocolate chips or whatever. Optional, pecans. I will be putting walnuts because that's how I roll. And I believe walnuts are called for in a brownie more than a pecan anyway. I love raw pecans, but I do not like the flavor change when they've been cooked. It's a thing. I couldn't tell you why. So that is my basic ingredients. So I'm going to start measuring that out. So hold on again. Okay, I'm back. Shall we get down to ingredients? Let's see if we do it like this. All right. This is going to be harder to read. Okay, so I need to melt the coconut oil, which was half a cup. So let me do that. Okay, 1 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, half a cup of melted coconut oil. Those are the first 2 ingredients that they say to put together. Mixture should look like wet sand. I would say it looks rather like wet sand. Next, it's going to be vanilla and eggs. And that was 3 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, I believe it was. I'll double check that, don't worry. Okay. So in a large bowl, whisk together the melted coconut oil and sugar until the mixture looks like wet sand. Add eggs and vanilla extract, and then whisk to combine. Okay, so that was 3 eggs. And now 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I've been debating. I don't have a proper whisk. It's not something that comes up in my cooking life very often. So I was debating about using this little electric whisk. I do not know whether this will work or not. We're gonna try. This is the kind that's like really good for cocoa and stuff, but nope, that mixture is too thick. That's what I thought might happen. We're just gonna mix it then. So that was 3 eggs, coconut oil, coconut sugar, and vanilla. Okay, let's see how much flour that was next. Okay, so that is half of a teaspoon of sea salt, and half a cup of the cocoa powder, if your cocoa powder or almond flour are at all lumpy, sift it. Mine are fine. That's only a 1/4 cup. but it's easier to get it in the bag, so I'll do 2 of these. They also recommended parchment paper in the bottom of the pan. Another thing I ain't got. Oh, just another thing that's not usually asked for in my household. So what you gonna do? And then that was 1 cup of almond flour. Also nice and fine and not lumpy, so I'm not gonna sift it or anything. Now, one of the reasons I picked the unblanched almond flour is because it was a brownie especially. It's going to be all dark. I'm not going to be able to see the specks of the irregular color in the flour, so I thought that'd be fine. This little thing isn't working. I'm going to need at least a fork. It's a little bit cool in this room, because I open my windows at night to get that nice air so it doesn't get hot, to get ahead of the heat. And my coconut sugar, or my coconut oil, is solidifying really quickly. So I may put this in the microwave for a couple of seconds. Just enough to soften it again. Yeah, that's better. That's better. I may have to do that every few minutes because it's pretty cool in here. Now we're mixing. I will try to remember to include the link to the website where I got this recipe in case it turns out good and you like it. Now that's looking more like a brownie. That's looking brownie-like. Now I'm thinking I'll probably have to take a little bit of coconut oil to the baking pan since I'm not using parchment. Let's look at the recipe again. So that's a pretty simple recipe. That is about it. I am going to add the walnuts in here, and I might sprinkle in a couple of cocoa nibs just to give it that extra little bit of bite. Not many though, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna think. So just a nice little chunk. I mean, that's probably a tablespoon worth or so. And then I'm going to put a couple of, and these are whole and pieces. These are wholes and pieces. I like them pretty chunky. It's a very deliberate choice on my part. And then you just fold that in a little bit. And that is it. Now all I have to do is get that pan ready with a little coconut oil since I don't have parchment paper. Let's see. All right, so I went a little old school here and I coconutted it, oil, and then I put a little bit of almond powder in there, flour in there, just to, you know, see if I can keep it from sticking. So I'm thinking I might put a couple of more walnuts on top. Just a little bit. Okay, it's time to bake. Tastes like a raw brownie to me. Okay, it's about to go in the oven, and I'm putting it in my big toaster oven because I didn't want to heat up the whole oven, but we'll see how that works out. It might take a little longer to cook, but I have to watch it careful once again. So, blah, blah, blah. Bake the almond flour brownies for 25 to 30 minutes. The top should look set and the center should no longer be jiggly. Let the brownies cool at room temperature, then refrigerate for 1 to 2 hours before slicing. They can be kept refrigerated in an airtight container for up to a week. So, 25 to 30 minutes and nothing over the top, no foil or anything over the top. So let's see how it goes. Waiting. It's only been in there a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes, but I just wanted to give you a peeky peek. Paleo brownies, ahoy hoy! Now they need to cool. Then I have to put them in the fridge for a couple of hours. Then I can cut them and try them. I'm back. And I have brownie. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with it. For my first experiment, particularly with foods I've never even tried before. I've never tried almond flour, although I enjoy almonds. Coconut oil did not make it too coconutty flavored or anything. I enjoy the walnuts in it. All in all, I'd call them a win. I mean, they're probably not the same as a regular standard American diet brownie, but honestly, I don't eat those that often anyway, and they are nice and chocolatey. I'm gonna say win-win. They are still solidifying a little bit. They haven't been in the fridge but a few minutes, just enough to cool off. I cut them a little bit early because I was anxious to try it. I think they'll be real decently chewy and everything by the time they're finished setting up. All in all, yeah, I think it works. It's a nice little change of pace and a little treat, and it's pretty close to being a good clean food paleo dessert. Next, I'm going to have to try and make them cookies, but I still got to find some chocolate chips. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, like, cut up that candy bar into chunks or something. That's going to be about it for today. Now, you, please subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. I'd be curious as to what you think, or have you ever tried anything like this before? And have a beautiful, beautiful day. Talk to you later.